Hello everyone. I am doing another Streamlabs multi-stream and I'm hoping it goes well. I'm having a hard time telling. Right now I have window capture mode on, so I'm capturing the window. I want to play this sequence of moves one more time. Um, I'm going to play it and then I'm going to explain it more slowly. Okay, so hopefully you got to see that correctly. So, um, as you know in my streams, I have a habit of showing games where I beat Rocco very badly. And beating Rocco was actually fairly easy. Um, and chess ratings are interesting because if you look at a person's chess rating, if they've played a lot of games, that gives you a pretty good idea where their skill level is. For example, you see my rating here is 1155. Now, my rating seems to go between 1100 and 1200 is what happens here. And I can't seem to get it above 1200, and part of the reason is because the people I'm playing are lower rated than me, the random matchups I get. So in other words, if I beat them, I don't get much of a rating. But if they beat me, I lose a whole bunch. So because I'm always playing with people who are rated lower than I am, and that's not even by choice, that's just the random matchup, then I end up constantly, it keeps my rating below 1200. But if you look at Rocco's rating, he's below 900. And so that shows that he's not quite as skilled as me. Um, so what I'm going to do though is I want to analyze more in depth what happened. The opening, we both started with King's Pawn, and then we both moved the bishops out. You see, it looks like I'm mirroring him, but it's just good moves. Now here I moved out my queen, and then we moved some other pieces, and then I threatened the queen with the bishop. That Rocco's queen took my queen. I was fine with that because I captured back with the knight. And then all kinds of piece exchanges happened. I castled, all this stuff, all just really standard stuff. You know, exchange the pieces, reduce the number of pieces on the board to simplify the game. That's what we did. But here is where things got very interesting. Because if you look at here, I was attacking the f2 square with both my knight and bishop. The king had already castled, but look at this. So the king, for whatever reason, decided to move there, probably out of the way of the bishop. But then because of that, I used the knight to attack. It put the king in check. But then, okay, let's go back. What Rocco probably could have done is he could have taken my knight with the rook, but he probably didn't want to lose his rook because most people don't want to give up their rook. So instead, he made the worst possible move, actually, is he moved his king back here. And the reason that's so bad is because that enabled me to pull off a deadly trick. So here you see, I was moving pawns, then he captured my pawn with his knight. I knew at that moment that if I moved my knight anywhere, it would result in instant check by my bishop. So I moved my knight here so that as soon as the king moves out of check, I capture his knight. I just got a free knight. So now I'm way ahead in pieces. That was the deciding moment when I had a serious advantage in this game. And then it gets worse from there. So I move the pawn. Interesting he didn't capture that pawn. He moves that pawn forward. I capture it. Nothing too suspicious. But then I put his king in check here with this pawn. So he moves there. But then I advance the pawn even more, and the pawn is protected by both my bishop and the rook behind it. So he decides to attack it with both of his rooks. This is bad for him because even if he does try to capture the pawn, he's going to lose a rook. But instead, I move this rook up here. I was thinking of attacking this pawn over here to the right above the bishop. But instead, he just moves the king again, giving me another free move. I double up my rooks there. He moves that pawn. My bishop just moves back there. Then we exchange some more pieces. And this is where it gets interesting, because after a whole bunch more pawn trades, I fork his pawn and his rook right there. He moves the rook. I capture the pawn and attack the rook again. He moves the rook back there. I move the knight out of the way. Then he just moves the pawn. He did not see the triple fork. The triple fork where he's in check and I can kill on the next turn either one of those rooks that I feel like. So, because he moved the king there, I decide to take that rook, which puts him in check. Then he moves the king back to where it was, so then I put him in check at the end, and then I take the other rook. So he just let me kill both of his rooks in a few moves. So he's clearly not seeing my deadly traps coming. Then he moves the pawn. Okay, I get a new queen. He moves that, and then now he's got like almost no pieces left. And finally, that's checkmate, because the king blocks the white king. My black king blocks the white queen from going to any of these three squares. Can't go there, but also can't go here or here because of the queen, or here because there's two rooks over here for one thing. So it's checkmate. That was a fabulous win. It was just amazing. And I love chess. Chess is just fun because there's so many ways to play chess. And I like to relax. Just going to. This is sort of a test stream. It's not intended to be very long because I do have to go to work. But I'm going to try playing a live chess game. Let me try setting up a live chess game here. I'm going to go to play. And let's see here. Let's do a 10-minute game where each person has 10 minutes. Now, one thing I haven't done is I haven't chosen, apparently you can choose the rating range you want, like within a certain range. So I'm gonna want people who are, well, I'll take people who are infinity above me. Why not? But only 25 below me. And I'm going to try this. I'm just going to play a random 10-minute game and just see what happens. I so look forward to seeing how this happens. Okay, Queen's pawn. Opponent queen pawns. Queen's gambit. Yeah, what are they going to do now? Are they going to accept the gambit? No, they did the Slav defense. How interesting. So now I'm just going to move my pawn forward. Now the pawns are blocking the way of some things here. then what will my opponent do? Okay, they move the knight there. I will move my bishop here. That's what I'll do, is I'll move my bishop there to just get it out of the way. I thought about attacking that knight directly, but that's not really necessary right now. And you see, my opponent is taking more time to think than I am. That's because I play chess a lot. I'm getting good at knowing what I want to do. And part of it's because I've memorized the Queen's Gambit opening and sort of what I do based on what happens. So that gives me a slight advantage when it comes to making faster moves. Okay, so then I'll get this knight moved out. Okay, let's see here. Just gonna get that bishop moved out so that my king will be able to castle. And there wasn't really any good places for my bishop to go. But castling is actually helpful. So black king castles, white king castles. Okay. Gonna start getting more pieces moved out here. I haven't thought of a plan yet, honestly. I don't even know where I'm going with this. Wait, has anyone even captured a single piece yet? Nobody's even captured one piece yet. Also, notice that my live chess rating here is lower than my daily rating. That's because I'm not as good at live chess as I am daily games where I have infinite time to think. Okay, I will move this pawn to defend that pawn. I love to maintain my pawn wall, my diagonal pawn wall, where the pawns all defend each other. I don't know why I enjoy it so much, I just really like it. So if they take my pawn, I take their pawn back and put a pawn in its place. Pawns really do make a huge difference in the game. Like, can you imagine if one side had pawns and the other had no pawns at the start of the game? The one with pawns would win because they have pawns to defend their other pieces. Oh, the knight retreated. That's kind of interesting. Well, then let me see about something here. I'm gonna advance more pawns. See, my opponent has not really gotten their pieces out in the center of the board like I have. I've been moving as many pieces out, but I don't have a plan yet. That's the thing, is I don't even have a plan yet. Okay, the knight went there. Well, wait a minute. That knight is threatening my bishop. But do I want to allow that? No, not really. I don't really want that to happen. Wait a minute. I think I have a plan. Well, we're just going to see how this goes. We're totally going to see how this goes. I'm going to move my knight here. We're gonna see. Will the knight capture my? Oh, the knight captured my bishop. That's fun. Okay, so now I'm going to wait. Wait a minute. Oh, wait. That was not a good move. No, that was not a good move. Well, okay. I'm gonna continue with my plan. Wait. Wait a minute. Okay. No, that's okay. That was a very bad plan. Um, okay, that was a bad plan. Okay. Um, yeah, okay, I messed up. Wait, okay, gonna capture that. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't see it sooner that I could just capture that knight back. Like it didn't even occur to me. I wasn't even noticing my pawns. Okay, things aren't as bad as I thought they were. But that took me a long time to think of that. Okay, so now we're back to exchanging more pieces. Okay, we'll attack that queen with this pawn. Okay, attack the queen again. See, now that the queen's out, it's too easy to attack the queen with all these pawns. All right, so now what are we doing here? I don't know what that queen is doing, but I'm just going to move my queen there. Okay, so what do we have going on here? Okay, this is gonna be weird, but I'm gonna try something. I'm going to try, um, well, hey, I know. I'm gonna capture that with that. That's what I'm gonna do. The original pawn wall is gone, but I have something else going on now. We're just gonna see how this develops. I'm still learning, how to use Streamlabs because I can use OBS, but Streamlabs, with the Pro account has, multi-streaming, so I'm streaming to multiple platforms. I will say this, I absolutely hate two-factor authentication. So when I try to connect to my Facebook, it made me go get my phone so that I can get a text message um, that they sent me, and I'm like, I have my phone plugged in. Plug it into charger before I go to work. Like, I hate to have to go and get my phone when I just want to do things from my computer. It annoys me. But it's like I have to have my phone with me because like every time I want to log into the same website that I've logged into, like every single day, then it's like, oh, we need to confirm that you really are yourself. Like, okay, whatever. Ooh, hey, this is fun. Fork between the rook and the queen, and my rook defends my bishop. So now what's the queen gonna do? Okay, so now I capture. Okay, there we go. So I got a rook. I captured a rook. Now what's my next move? I didn't think I would get this far, to be honest. I didn't really plan ahead for this. Okay, now it's time to start capturing some pawns there. Okay, so now I'm actually going to go here. I know this seems like a foolish move, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to totally try it and see what happens. This could be fun. Uh, yeah, what's going to happen now? Will the knight move? I mean, it's not like my queen's going to capture that knight, not with a pawn defending it, and well, and a bishop's also defending it. That's weird. But what will my opponent do? They've got to do something or they'll run out of time. Ah, that was actually a good move for them to do, you see, because then their knight defends that weak square that I was about to attack. So, okay, well, I guess now I need to move this somewhere else. Okay, my queen doesn't really have any good spots to move to. Can't go there or, okay, well, I'm gonna move this queen back to where it was. That's embarrassing, and I know the knight's gonna come here and put my king in check. But see, if I had moved my queen too close, then I would have simply lost my queen, and I certainly don't want that to happen. This is an interesting game so far. It really is. uh, my opponent is not knowing where they're gonna go. I'm surprised they don't try to put my king in check with the knight. Oh, they didn't put my king in check. Instead, they decided to move their queen there, which is honestly kind of interesting. I just wasn't expecting such a thing. Now, though, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to defend that pawn by moving this rook here, because I just have this feeling, this nasty feeling that my opponent's trying to do a deadly trap and gonna come in the corner here and try to checkmate me in some way that I'm just not seeing. You can never be too paranoid when playing chess. Oh, what an interesting move. I just wouldn't have expected something like that. Okay, so now I'm going to move that pawn. Oh, I see. So they're attacking my queen that way. Well, okay. I'm going to sacrifice the rook. This might be a bad idea, but I just didn't like all these pieces closing in down here. Oh, wait a minute. I can't. Oh, that was dumb. Now I can't capture back because the queen Oh, I see how that is. Okay, but nonetheless, I'm still gonna try to attack other pieces. I'm just gonna do the best I can, but I lost my advantage from the rook. But that may not matter because my opponent's about to run out of time. That is one benefit of live chess. You don't have to play well, you just have to play faster than your opponent. Oh, it changes the whole dimension of the game because then time is taken into consideration. Okay, that's interesting. I'm not going to capture that pawn. No, I'm not, or they take my queen. Ooh, well, that's interesting. Well, yeah, I can't capture that either. I can't do that. Okay, check. My opponent is in check. What are they gonna do? Okay, and now I'm going to block this pawn from being able to go anywhere. It's not gonna move anymore. I won. I won because my opponent ran out of time, even though I would have lost the game otherwise. Oh well, that was a nice, exciting chess game. I'm gonna end the stream after I check to see were there any comments. Were there any comments? No, I didn't see any comments. And I've only been live for about 10 minutes. Okay. Well, goodbye anyone who watched this. This was actually a very